Hey y'all, welcome back to another episode of Real and Raw with Ree. Happy Hump Day. We are on episode 42. So on today's episode, we are going to be discussing a man being vulnerable in a relationship. So grab a glass of your favorite drink and let's get on into it. So we do have a voice note, so I'm going to play his voice note and then I'm going to give my opinion based off of everything that he said.
So, in regards to relationships, do you believe the guy being vulnerable or fully vulnerable with you is important while dating? And when do you think they should become fully vulnerable in the relationship? Such as, would you get married if they still haven't fully allowed you into their, traumas, childhood scars, whatever the case is, their weak points, their break points, their triggers? Would you be willing to stay in a relationship with somebody who isn't fully vulnerable with you? And how long would you stay in a relationship if a guy hasn't been vulnerable with you? And also considering the fact that usually males are grown up not to be vulnerable, not to show emotion or cry or be weak. We always have to be strong. We always got to take care of responsibilities. It's always 100%, never go 50-50. Keeping all these, I think in my opinion, it'll be generational curse. Because I really do believe that's a generational curse on the way we raised our men. Keeping all that in mind, how they grew up, how would you handle that situation? And if you even, or when you try to have them be vulnerable, what would your tolerance level be in a case like that?
Okay, so I feel like a man being vulnerable is very important. I like my man to really open up to me. I would like us to cry together if we have to, honestly. And I feel like, to me, that is very attractive when a man is in tune with his emotions and he's not trying to be tough with me. I feel like if you're feeling sad, let it out. Tell me how you feel. That is what I want. I don't want you to. I feel like you can be tough when you outside or whatever, but I feel like when we are at home, let your guard down. I want to see the good side, the bad side of you. Hopefully, not too much of the ugly side, but I want you to be able to express yourself to me, that's what I want. I cried with one of my exes before, and in my opinion, it brought us closer together, in my opinion. But yes, I would like my man to not feel like he has to walk around with his emotions boggled up. Don't do that. It's to me, it's not going to help you in any way. You're gonna explode later, and that might be something that you can't take back. Let's just say we get into it and you're blowing it all out of proportion, in my opinion, and you're let's just say you come back to me later and you're I apologize. I didn't, mean to say what I said, or some of that anger was coming from another place. It should never be that, if I'm being honest, because I want you to open up to me. I want to be your peace. I want to be, it's a word I'm looking for. I cannot think of it, but shit, tell me how you feeling. If you're upset, I want to know. Why are you upset? If it's something I did, let me know. Don't feel like you got to be tough here. I never told you that. Of course, I want a man that can protect me, but that doesn't mean that you need to walk around showing no emotion. Like, I want to see every emotion when it comes to my man. I don't ever want my man to feel like, oh, I can't cry in front of her. Like, I gotta wait till she go to sleep and whatever, or she not here. Like, no, cry in front of me. If that's what you need to do, we can cry together. We'll figure it out together. That's the type of girl that I am. Like, we will figure it out together. I don't ever want my man to feel like he has to. Of course, you can be strong for you, be strong for me. But as I always say, I feel like whenever your partner is lacking in a certain area, pick up that slack for them. If my man ever feels like he's weak and he doesn't know how he's going to take on the day, I want you to tell me that, so I can do it for the both of us, or uplift you, and we going to figure it out together. We will take on the world or the day together, one day at a time. I don't ever want my man to feel like, he in this by himself, because you are not. I'm here. I'm your partner, and that's what it is. So yes, I feel like I want my man to be vulnerable with me, but I feel like, and I hate this, I really do, because I feel like women do not create that space for men to be vulnerable. If I'm being completely honest, they do not. I feel like somebody told me that a girl stopped talking to them because they were too nice or something, which there are some men that are really, really nice. I would like a man to be nice to me, Of course, I like people to be nice to me. Don't be mean, don't be an asshole to me. Or too sweet, I should say. That's what they said. I like men to be sweet, but at the same time, it's a type of, I don't know. Okay, it's kind of like being too nice, or it's a thin line between being too nice, where you can like push over and run over them, and then it's like nice to the point where they're nice, but not to play with them in certain ways. Like, they are going to check you on some shit, and if a dude is too nice and you feel like you can run over him, you already know that some women don't like that. I personally do not like a man like that, because I feel like I would like a man that's going to challenge me. I don't mean that in like a we arguing type thing, or I'm nitpicking and all. I don't mean that. I just want a man where I feel like if I'm wrong, he's going to tell me I'm wrong. He's going to check me respectfully. Not a man that's gonna be like, okay, it's all right or whatever. No, if I did something that you didn't like, let me know. So yes, yeah, with that. So I just feel like a man that's in tune with his emotions, women probably call him like sassy or something, and I don't even know where that word came from. I just started seeing it on social media, but it's just like, I don't get what be sassy about these men, because they are in tune with their emotions. Like I just said, if a dude cries, that doesn't make him any less manly, in my opinion. I'm happy that he's in tune with his emotions, that he broke that whole, oh, I have to be strong, can't show no emotions, because for one, that lets me know that when he has a child, he is going to let his child express himself, and I hate, like it boils my blood when men tell their, like, let's just say, a little boy falls down and he starts crying, and his dad is like, oh, get up. What you crying for? 'Cause he fucking fell. What do you mean? You cried too when you were little. What do you mean? I hate that. And that will never happen when it comes to my kids, because if they want to cry, they are going to cry. Now, if you crying for nothing, then we're going to have to check that. But other than that, no. I don't feel like you crying or showing emotion is a sign of weakness. I don't believe that. If you feel a way, feel that way. If you feel like you need to cry, cry. If you feel like you need to express yourself, you do that. I don't, no, I don't like that. And I don't even know where that came from. Of course, it came from my parents, but it's just like, baby, we got to break that. We have to break that. And it's just like, if he is not vulnerable with me, we would have to really talk, because it's like, I know everybody has emotions. I know everybody wants to cry sometimes, and it's like, if I never see you cry, I'm gonna have to ask, like, especially if you're my man, I'm with you, we living together. I know some days you are sad. Like, nobody's happy 24/7. I know some days you are sad, or if something happens, like, let's just say somebody in your family passes away, cry if you need to. I don't want you to feel like you got to be tough around me and go cry in the bathroom to yourself. No. Let me hold you, and you can let it out. But if you feel like you don't want me to see you in that light, we got to talk about it. And I'm not going to talk about it on some, we about to argue, I'm about to press you. Like, no, I'm not going to do that. I just have to understand why you feel that way, which I'm pretty sure it is because you were told to not show any emotion. But as I said, women have to provide this safe space for this man to be able to be vulnerable with them. And I don't feel like a lot of women have. So, yes, it has something to, it's mainly how they grew up, I feel like. But then you also have to ask them, like, have they ever tried to be vulnerable with a woman and it backfired? So now they're like, no, I'm not doing it again because X, Y, and Z happened. So yeah, some women might be like, yeah, I want a man to be vulnerable and I want them to this. Do you provide that space for them to do that? Like, do you? Because I feel like if it's a movie, I cry all the time when it comes to certain movies. Like, I'm very emotional. Very. So let's just say if we were, I don't even know what movie I could say we're watching. Like, if it made you really sad, or let's just say it's about somebody's parent passes away or something, and that hits home for you, I'm not going to judge you because you crying. No, it hit home for you, so I get it. I am going to console you. Let you know that it's okay. I'm here. Whatever. I'm going to be there for you. And I feel like that's what women need to do. Okay? You have to be that safe space for them. You can't open up to me and then throw the shit back in their face like, oh, you were crying with such and such, and and women love to call men the B word. Like, no, you can't do that. That man will never open up to you again. If he left you, I wouldn't even feel bad for you, because now he knows that he can't fully be himself with you. So it's no point in being there, to be honest. It's no point in him being there with you, if I'm being completely honest. But as far as like marriage goes, I don't know if I could marry somebody who is not completely vulnerable with me. Like, I don't know if I could, because like I said, I want to see every side of you. I want to see you at your weak moments. I want to know that you trust me to help you get through that. Like, you feel like I'm your partner. Like, to me, that would bring us closer if you were vulnerable with me. And like I said, I love a man that's in tune with his emotions. I love it. Now, I don't mean crying every 5 seconds, because I heard that on a podcast episode. Like, I think the girl, what she do? She probably bought the dude his favorite candy. He cried. She gave him. She had sex with him. He cried. I don't know what else she did with him. He cried. Like, no, I don't need you to be doing all of that. Because for one, I'm gonna have to ask you, like, what's going on? Like, why are you crying so much? But yeah, if you feeling away, or you lucky to have me, let me know. Let me know everything. I want to see every emotion when it comes to you. Don't feel like you, like I said, have to take on the world by yourself, because you don't. You have to keep your feelings in, your emotions in. No. Cry with me. Cry on my shoulder. Like, let me know that if you're having a bad day, a tough day, or this is going wrong, that's going wrong, you feel like, you just real weak right now, you don't know how you are going to, or you feel like, damn, like I just feel like I can't win, let me know. Let me know. I don't feel like anybody should have to be going through that alone if that's how you really feel. I don't feel that way. I would want to know, especially when it comes to my man. Even with my friends, I feel like if you feel like you are overwhelmed with life, I want you to let me know. If you have nobody else to go to, even if you have about 20 people to go to and we talk on a regular, I still want to know. I still feel like I want to be that friend for you. But as far as my man goes, like, tell me how you feeling. And we're going to figure it out together. Before I continue on with this episode, depending on the platform that you are listening to my podcast on, hit that plus sign or follow button to keep up with each and every episode. Also, if you really, really, really support me, in the description box of this episode, hit the listener support link and work your magic. We are going to go ahead and get back into the episode. I don't feel like a man should be vulnerable, like, right off the bat. I feel like you have to build up to that. I kind of feel like just how a woman wants you to prove certain things to her, I feel like a woman has to prove to you that you can be vulnerable with her. Don't just open up to her in the first couple weeks, I feel like, unless you just have that feeling like you can be vulnerable with this woman. But I just say give it a couple months. That's how I feel. That's how I feel. I don't feel like you should just be opening up like that to just anybody. Because I feel like you would not want a woman to use that against you. So I feel like when she provides that safe space, she shows you that she really has your back. Like she's here. There's no questioning where she stands with you. That's when I feel like you can be vulnerable with her. That's what I feel. Don't just go out here opening up to these women, and that, to me, that's when they dog you out, hit you at your lowest. So no, I feel like give it a couple months, or you don't really have to put a time frame on it. But I just say whenever you really feel like this is the woman for you, or this woman has shown you like, I got you, or I'm here, or you can tell me anything. She has opened up to you, and the vibe is just there. The chemistry is there. Y'all have talks and all of that. Yeah, that's when you become vulnerable with her, I feel like. Don't just right off the bat. No. So the biggest thing for me would be just making sure whatever this man shares with you does not come back up in conversation. Like, I don't feel like you should go telling your girlfriends about what he said, or throwing it up in his face or whatever during like a heated discussion, or even if it's not heated, it should never come back up in his face. I mean, like I said, that has happened to me before, and that is a trigger for me. Like, I don't like that. Once you do that, I can't fuck with you no more. So if this man, no matter how much he loves you or whatever, I don't care if he proposed to you yesterday, he needs to snatch that ring off your finger and put all your shit outside if you live with him. But like I've said before, I don't feel like nobody should leave what they have going on and go live with anybody. Y'all go get a place together. Both of y'all names on there, so can't nobody put nobody out. But yeah, I mean, like I said, he deserves to snatch that ring off your finger and be done with you, block you, everything, because that's never cool. This person opened up to you because they trusted you. You know, they felt like, you know, I can share this information with them. It's safe with them. It's never going to come back up. But the moment that you saw an opportunity to say it, and if we're being honest, most people bring stuff back up that you told them, that you trusted them with. They bring that back up to hurt you. Like, let's just be real. They bring it back up because they know that it is going to hit you where it hurts. Like, and I feel like at that point you are dead to me. Like, I want nothing to do with you. And I'm serious with that. That reminds me, I don't know if I said this story on the podcast, on my podcast before, but I think I did, but I'm gonna say it again in case I didn't. But me and this guy that I was dealing with, we were getting into it about his phone or whatever. Okay, I did tell this story, but I'm gonna tell it again for those of you that start at the recent episode. So yeah, we were getting into it about his phone or whatever, and then he brought up something that I told him, like I said, because I trusted him, and I think I was like, I really needed to vent at that time, and it was like, okay, this is the person that I'm dealing with, and I feel like I can tell them things. So during our little heated discussion or whatever, I wouldn't say it was too heated, or maybe it was, but yeah, he brought that up, and honey, it was like I paused because I couldn't believe that he said what he said, and I told him to get the fuck out. Like, yeah, and like I tell people, I don't care if it was a tornado outside, baby, you are going out there with it. And when people really piss me off, I mean, really, really, really take me there. Some things be going on in my head, like, I hope some shit happens to you. That's why I hate when people take me there. The Lord knows my heart, and he knows I'm not that kind of person, but he also knows that when you push me, all that shit go out the window. So yes, I was hoping that, you know, something happened to him on his way home, or if it was a tornado outside, it sucked him the fuck up and blew him God knows where. But that's, I didn't care. If it was a tornado outside, he would have went out there with it. That's how pissed I was. So yeah, we didn't talk for a good little minute, but then he kept trying to pop back in and all of that, but no thank you. So yeah, but I did do a poll on my social medias. If you follow me, you know they are linked in the podcast description, not the episode description, but the podcast description, like as a whole. So yeah, I had asked you guys to vote or whatever. I asked about men being vulnerable or whatever, and some people also sent me voice notes, so I'm going to include those right now.
To answer your question, do I feel I can be vulnerable to a woman? No, I don't. I said something to my wife of like almost 30 years. And years later, I had it thrown back in my face. And it was such a surprise and shock to me that when she did it, just happened to be in the wrong place at the wrong time, behind the wheel of a car, a Jeep to be exact. And when she did it, it pissed me off so much that I hit the steering wheel, which is not a good idea doing about 75, 80 on a highway. Damn near killed us all. And we stayed together, but it just kept egging at me over and over and over until finally I just found a job in another city and I left. And I haven't looked back. I've been gone now almost 3 years. And like I said, we were together before I left almost 30 years. And that was the first time I really opened up and had it thrown back in my face. So now I don't feel I could ever open up and be vulnerable again to anyone.
So I feel like you should be able to be vulnerable with a woman you're in a relationship with, and like fully vulnerable. Like you should be able to tell them everything that's on your mind or how you're feeling, because if you're not being vulnerable with them, who are you gonna talk these things out with? I just feel like if it's the woman you're with, she should be able to know how you are, who you are inside out. And I don't feel like that should be a problem for anyone. Now, granted, I do know there are some times when you don't want to say everything or get everything off your chest, and that's fine. And you don't have to, but you've got to be able to let your partner know how you're feeling. I just feel like there's no reason not to. I just feel like men should be able to open up fully about whatever they're feeling and not have to worry about being judged for it. And if they do have a partner that's worth a damn, they should be able to take and understand what their man is feeling and not judge him for it. They should be supportive in what he's saying and not take anything to heart, like not take anything personally. Well, I guess maybe I shouldn't say that, but they should just be able to understand, accept how their man is feeling. And you should be able to open up to somebody, especially if you're a partner. There's no reason not to. Talk to them. Y'all should know each other like the backs of y'all hand if y'all are in a relationship, like a truly like good relationship. Y'all should be able to talk whatever out with no problem whatsoever. That's just how I feel. I mean, it also kind of considers how committed you are to each other and how long the relationship is, and like the trust that you all have with each other. I feel like as long as those things align, you can be fully vulnerable with the woman you're with. And I don't think there should be anything wrong with that. It's just you should be able to talk to and communicate freely with somebody you're dealing with and not be judged by what you're saying or not have those things held against you at any point in time. I mean, as long as it's a relationship that's worth it, you shouldn't have to worry about those things.
It's hard to be completely vulnerable and open with women, especially like you can't do it with every woman you meet. You gotta really build up that level of trust, that level of sincerity, that level of she has your back and she's not gonna use it against you to belittle you, to drag you, because everybody thinks men doesn't have emotions, but we have emotions just like females. And at times, it may be a chink in the armor, and some women will use your vulnerability to really bring you down.
So some people also said no because the woman will use it as ammunition. Someone is also 50-50. They said that is the goal, but wanting to protect and be vulnerable go against each other. And men need to use great discernment. Another person was, which I feel like is 75% no and 25% yes, because they said women say you can and then use it against you. Most of the world doesn't know what to do when they see Superman cry, and I love that. Like, I really did. Really did. So this person said yes, that him and his person make it a point to be each other's safe space, which I feel like that is very, very important, which I spoke on earlier in the episode, that you two are supposed to be each other's safe space. Like, I feel like you're supposed to feel safe enough where you can just let your guard down, let your hair down, like, be who you don't let most of the world see, or any of the world see. I feel like you are supposed to be that person around your partner. Like, for example, when we're all in the comfort of our own home, we be doing some things, or that we wouldn't let the rest of the world see. And I feel like your person is supposed to be your home. Like, that's how I feel. So, like I said, I did a poll, and 53% of men said yes, 47% of men said no. Then I did another poll, and it was 50-50. So 15 said yes, and 15 said no. So, men, I have a question for you. If a woman, or should I say, would you be open enough for a woman to provide that safe space for you? Like, if a woman showed you that you can let your guard down and be fully vulnerable with her, would you be open to that? Or would you still have in the back of your mind, like, this happened, that happened? Like, I really want to know, because how we say that, how a woman is used to not being loved properly. So when she finally, or I'm going to just say anybody, when you finally get this person that loves you properly and how you really want to be loved, you don't know how to handle it. You don't know how to take it. So you sabotage it, and it's everything that you've been asking for. And it's like you have been used to her, or some people wait for the person to drop the ball. So kind of like that. Like, would you guys still be on like defense mode, or would you like open up to this woman and feel like, you know what, let me see how this goes? I really want to know, like, would you guys let yourself go there with this woman and be fully vulnerable with her? So I'm going to go ahead and wrap this episode up. Thank you guys for tuning into another episode of Real and Raw with Ree. Make sure you rate, make sure you share, make sure you comment. Also, make sure you hit that plus sign or follow button up top so you can stay up to date on each and every episode. Also, make sure you hit that listener support link in the description box of this episode. And I will see you guys on Wednesday. Bye.